about, laddies. Give him a round of grape and cheese. One of the things that I've oftentimes been asked to do throughout my career has been to take the principles of the studio onto location. So in other words, go to someplace that might be remote or even difficult and bring along the equipment and the lighting principles, the effort at control and staging and lighting that you would ordinarily associate with doing studio work, and bring those principles to bear out on location. Sometimes when you really make an effort to do that, the results can be very striking because it almost becomes a marriage of two worlds. The control of the studio and the sort of out of control or wilder aspects of location shooting. We were going to stress the camera a bit by placing a bride in a very beautiful white gown in the middle of this sun-baked desert. Extremes of exposure. We had to move very fast. I was relying on the systems of the camera to sort of keep pace with the situation. As they might say in the movies, a series of unfortunate events. In the desert yesterday, we had 25 to 30 mile an hour winds, which resulted in periodic dust storms, which prevented us from putting up any significant amount of lighting or grip equipment or silks or any sort of light baffles. And then of course we had the intense sunlight of the desert and the intense white of the gown, all of which had to come together in a matter of minutes because we finally got a drop in the wind, so we really only had her in front of camera for a short period of time. And I found the camera system to deal with it extremely well in terms of the quality of detail in the shadows, but also maintaining the quality and detail in areas of highlight. Stay right there, please, or relax. We can go back in just a second. Theater work is not the easiest thing to do, for sure. Oftentimes, the lighting scenarios are extreme, and you always have to remember that the human eye is this fantastic instrument, because we can sit there in the audience and enjoy a play or a dance piece that's in the dimmest of light, and our eyes can appreciate the subtleties and pick up the details. Cameras are not like that. Cameras really need a wider expression of the range of light and contrast and things like that. So oftentimes you can run into difficulties shooting in a theater just with the extremes of light and shadow. There's glimmers of light here and there, bouncing off the floor, filtering through windows, even in a doorway. And previously I would appreciate or enjoy perhaps that small quality and quantity of light, but I would never even think about shooting it. Now I'm trying it, I'm shooting it, and some of the results are pretty amazing in terms of the quality. Here we go again. High ISO for me now is just another really important tool in my camera bag. We set out in the studio not only to make good photographs, but we also set out to challenge the camera. And we were given this camera and an array of possibilities, and we're asked to construct potentially difficult scenarios. The color is nothing short of astonishing. Skin tones are very even. The rotation into shadows, from light to shadow, is smooth. So there's not, in the digital world, occasionally we've had to become accustomed to sharp breaks between highlight and shadow. Those are very smooth, very continuous. The rounded tones of the frame are really, really wonderful. There's depth to it. Hard thing about our world now visually is that if you walk down the street on your average day, you'll see 1,000 images in an hour. Billboards, advertisements, magazine stands. What cuts through all that clutter? Humor is not to be overlooked photographically. If a picture is fun to watch, it's doing its job. Light affects people in different ways. Different faces react differently to different qualities of light. And again, as my theory about light is always that light is language. It has color and tone, inflection, it has range. It has emotion. It can make someone look wonderful. It can make them look terrible. And so you have to use it properly. This camera is more than fast. I think it's almost a quantum leap. It's not a 1 year or 2 year jump in technology. It's probably a 5 or 6 year kind of jump.